Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Escobar, NATO 11.2. So let's go with tech. PGM, Advanced Logistics, Long Range Missiles gets 2 dice, Advanced ASF, and Chemical. Two dice and still could not get long range missiles. Absolutely terrible. Okay, PGM and Advanced ASF. PGM is completed. Advanced ASF goes to stage 2. Now that PGM is going to help NATO a little bit in this turn. Just a touch. Okay, that's that. No global operations. Nothing to release, as the Americans already got them released for theater-wide nuclear release. No military aid. So let's go to regular purchase. Okay, they're spending 17 on 2 next-gen MBTs, 2 field artillery, and an A-10. They're spending 21 on 2 next-gen MBTs, 2 self-propelled artillery. Wait a minute. No, I misfigured. I just realized I misfigured that amount of money. Just a second. Okay, I got it fixed. They're spending 18 on 2 next-gen MBTs and 2 self-propelled artillery, 2 on a frigate, 6 on an F-117, and save 1. Okay, there is one thing I have to do right now. The B-1 bomber can be placed. For NATO, it has to go to a joint base, so it's going to go to Marmara, to the joint base there. Okay, that's purchase. Now, combat movement. All right. First order of business is going to be a surgical strike on central Turkey. From the major air base there in Marmara, we're going to shoot 1 cruise missile in here. The A-10 is going to come in, and from the fleet here in M7, an attack bomber is going to fly 1-2 to get in here. The attack bomber will drop battlefield nukes. But the spy satellite is not being used in this attack, so the battlefield nukes will be rolling at 4 instead of 7. The A-10, of course, always has full value at surgical strike. And since they just got PGMs, that cruise missile will have land target select as well. Okay, then while we're right here, I think I'm doing this right. If I remember right, we decided to do all of the combat in combat. I don't think we have a strategic nuclear attack phase anymore. This isn't strategic anyway. The initial setup put 3 theater missiles in Marmara. We're going to fire 2 of them. So the first one, 1, 2, 3, is targeting the minor army base in southern Caucasia. And then the second one is going to be fired 1, 2, 3, and it is targeting the major air base there in eastern Ukraine. Okay. Oh, and then this is a new thing. You may or may not know that we have revised seriously the B-1B bombers. So this one that NATO just placed here is going to go and do a surgical strike. B-1s didn't have that before, they do now. So what's going to happen is he's going to fly 1 and hopefully 2 into Romania. The first thing he has to do when he gets to Bulgaria, the B-1 has a capability called low-level interdiction, which makes him immune to fighter interception along his flight path. The second thing he has to do is ECM, electronic countermeasures, which you see I have that little cube right there that says ECM on it. So what he does there is he's going to roll to see if his electronic countermeasures can defeat that SAM, so that the SAM cannot block his combat movement. If that roll is successful, he can proceed on to the target zone of Romania, where he will conduct a surgical strike targeting the Warsaw Pact theater missiles there. Well, one of the Warsaw Pact theater missiles. If the ECM roll fails, then he has to return to base at Marmara without conducting his attack. Okay, so that's the action that's taking place down here. Up here, there is going to be a fairly involved surgical strike in Bavaria. Okay, this one is going to have spy satellite support. So first, we got 4 cruise missiles being shot into Bavaria. 1 from Rhineland goes 1 space. 1 from Paris goes 1, 2, 3 spaces. And then the strategic bomber takes off from Paris, let's see, he could try to intercept. There are 2 fighters in Benelux that could try to intercept. What do we want to do about that? All right, then this is what we're going to do. We're going to change on the fly. Since those 2 fighters might give us trouble, we're going to change this. We're just going to shoot 2 cruise missiles into Bavaria. The strategic bomber will fly 1, 2, 3 in there into Bavaria, and he will carpet bomb. That's how we're going to do that. Okay, and then from Rhineland, these two A-10s and these two attack choppers, the attack choppers using the Apache special ability, are going to join the surgical strike. And then from Picardy, flying 1-2 to get in there, the F-117 and 2 attack bombers are going to join in, and they are going to drop battlefield nukes. And then from Rhineland, these two ASFs and this Top Gun ASF are going to escort. This fighter from Picardy will fly 1-2 in there on a seed mission. He's going to try to take out that SAM. And since they have spy satellite support here, him and the one dropping battlefield nukes will all be full value attacks. Okay. That's that. Let me go check my notes real quick. I'm pretty sure that's it for combat movement, but let's be sure. Romania, Central Turkey, Bavaria. Yep, that's it for combat movement. All right. So let's just do our thing, and since we're right here, let's take care of Bavaria first. So first thing, we have to have interception combat. I forgot to mention that Warsaw Pact is going to scramble 1 fighter and 1 early gen fighter from Bavaria. It's going to scramble 2 fighters from East Germany. So there's going to be, I'll just have to do them separate. So there's 3 fighters for Warsaw Pact. Okay, there is 1 interception hit for Warsaw Pact from the fighters. Now, an early gen fighter, he missed. Okay, now NATO has 2 ASFs in yellow and a Top Gun ASF in black. And then I'll do the others after these. Okay, so there's a hit for sure. ASF intercepts at 6. So there's 2. That's Warsaw Pact. There's 2 interception hits so far for NATO. And the attack bombers, I'm pretty sure intercepted 2, but let me double check that. Yeah, attack bombers intercepted 2. F-117 has no interception. The A-10s intercepted 1. So we've got an attack bomber at 2. Misses. 2 A-10s at 1. Those both miss. And the strategic bomber intercepts at 1, doesn't it? No, looks like we've taken interception away from the strategic bomber. Okay, so there it stands. NATO got 2 interception hits, and Warsaw Pact got 1. So Warsaw Pact is going to take its interception hits on 1 of the early gen fighters and 1 of the fighters that flew from East Germany. And then NATO is going to take its hit on going to take its hit on one of the ASFs. Now, we forgot to have Warsaw Pact declare what their SAM is going to do, since we have cruise missiles and aircraft coming in here to attack. Does the SAM want to take the chance that the Seed will take him out? He's going to take the chance and try for some air hits. So, here comes the Seed fighter. 7, he misses. So, the SAM does get 3 shots of air defense. And he gets 1 hit. 1 air hit. That NATO's going to take on the other ASF. Okay. We've done that. Now we've got cruise missile attack, 2 of them. Okay, there is 1 hit, and that is reactive armor target select. So, you can take out one of them things right there. Okay, there's that. Now, we've got, let's see, we'll start with the attack choppers. 2 attack choppers at 6. They both miss. 2 A-10s. The A-10s missed. Oh my God. All right. B-52 carpet bombs. Or not B-52, strategic bombs. Carpet bombs. Look at that. He got 2 hits. And now we have 2 attack bombers and a stealth fighter with battlefield nukes. Full value. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. That's going to be a total of 8. 8 hits total. That's going to take a little bit of steam out of Warsaw Pact. Okay, there's 1. And 5 makes 6. And then 2 more to make 8. Warsaw Pact got bled out in Benelux by nuclear surgical strike, and now the same thing has happened in Bavaria. Okay, that is it for that. Let's go back around this way. And let's do some battle stars before we mess around and forget. So for the interception combat, it's 2 air battle stars for NATO and 1 for Warsaw Pact. And then 2 more air battle stars for the damage they did with the surgical strike for NATO. And that's that for there. Okay, next we're going to do the surgical strike on central Turkey. Now there's no interception or anything there for this one. No missile or SAM defense. So we have one cruise missile and an attack bomber dropping battlefield nukes. Okay, cruise missile hits. That's a target select. And the attack bomber hits with 1. That's a general hit. So for the target select, since he didn't get a 1, wait a minute. No, that's A10. He can choose. He can hit that next gen MBT, so he's going to. Yeah. And then for the general hit, so it's going to take a self-propelled artillery. And that has taken some of the wind out of their sails in central Turkey. Okay, now we have, I'm going to save the B1 attack for last. So now we're going to have a theater strike on the minor army base in southern Caucasia, and then on the major air base in eastern Ukraine. So for starters, the minor army base gets 1 inherent AMD shot. That's a miss. So 2d6, 5 damage. 5 damage on that minor army base in southern Ukraine. Okay, now the major air base in eastern Ukraine gets 2 inherent SAM shots. And that missile is shot down. Okay, now we're doing the B1 attack. So as I said, the B1 has low-level interdiction capability, which makes him immune to that early-gen fighter there in Bulgaria. But he has to try to get past the SAM with his ECM pod. So we roll 1 die. 6 or less, he gets through. Anything above that, he returns to base. There's a 5. The ECM was successful. So now, the B1 flies on in here to Romania, and he's doing a surgical strike on trying on one of those theater missiles. And he does surgical strike at 6. And there is a 6, so he was able to take out one of those theater missiles. So we remove 1. If you're aware, you may not be under the new nuclear warfare rules. As before in previous versions of the game, theater missiles, strategic weapons, so forth, replenished at the end of each turn so that you had a limitless supply as long as you had platforms to fire the missiles. In the revision that we've made, there are now a finite number of weapons available to each faction. So if as you shoot them, you use them up, and when they're gone, they're gone. The enemy targets them. As they're destroyed, they're subtracted, and again, when they're gone, they're gone. That's it. Okay, so there was a little snapshot of the new capabilities of the B-1B. Okay, that's it for combat. Now we are into, check my Fallout real quick. Oh yeah, Fallout. We use battlefield nukes in 2 zones. So the Fallout goes from 7 up to 9. And now we're doing non-combat. So the B1 gets to fly back 1, 2 to Marmara. Take the ECM cube off there. Now, and then I'll mention this. I just had to go by 1 SAM. If you're trying to reach a target deep in enemy territory, and the enemy has arrayed SAMs in depth to try and stop this attack, you can do an ECM roll for every zone that has a SAM that you come to. And as long as you keep rolling successful ECM, you get to keep advancing towards your target. But the first time you miss an ECM roll, you return to base. Okay. This guy flies back to his carrier. The A-10 flies back to Marmara. Him off there. Let's see. This guy, airborne in French Guiana, is going to air. Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. There's no airbase there. So he can't airlift. Never mind. Good thing I checked that. One thing we are going to do is these paramilitaries. This one from Catalonia is going to move to southern France. This one from northwest Spain is going to move to Catalonia. The threat from North Africa, or the threat from Africa, period, has been eliminated pretty much. So these 2 paramilitaries from Valencia are going to move to Catalonia. The ones in Gibraltar are going to stay just in case. No, one of them is going to sea lift. We're going to take one out of there. He's going to sea lift to Sicily. Okay, the air from the surgical strike all goes back where it came from. So the Top Gun ASF, the 2 A-10s, and the 2 attack choppers land back in Rhineland. Strategic bomber goes back to Paris. The attack bombers, the F-117, and the Seed fighter go back to Picardy. Oh, I forgot one. We have a theater missile shot from southern England, 1, 2, 3, 4, against the major port in Akershus. Forgot that. Let's get that taken care of. So the major port's going to have 2 inherent SAM shots. And that missile is shot down, so. Okay, now. The subs here in A10 are going to move up here to A7 to join their buddy, because they have a feeling these SSNs over here in A9 may want to come out and play. We never know. And then the fleet here moves back over to A6. The amphibious assault ship and the supercarrier that got repaired last turn, they come out of port and rejoin the fleet. So get them back on the card, and the fleet carrier gets to take its attack bomber with it back out to sea. Okay, that is that. I think so. So I don't forget them. Get these theater missiles off here. All right, no non-combat movement over here. Okay, we're done. Place units. So the F-117 that was built is going at the joint base here in Marmara. Those have to be built at joint bases. Do they want to? Do they want to? I think they're going to. I forgot a non-combat. The fleet in M7 is going through the Turkish Strait into M10. The cruiser and destroyer in port there at Marmara come out of port and join the fleet. Here's the card here. And then a frigate is built at the minor shipyard there, and it also goes to the fleet. So if the Soviets want to play, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots of missile defense if they need it. Okay, that's that. Now the rest of this. The rest of this goes up here. Oh, no it doesn't. No it doesn't. I'm still here at Marmara. That threw me off a little bit. Okay, I'm actually going to have to go around the table to be able to reach this better. From the lower side of the table, it's just almost out of reach. So we're building 2 next-gen MBTs here. 2 field artillery. So 3 grays becomes a green. And an A10. There we go. Up here, the rest of the units get built in Rhineland. So here's the card. 2 next-gen MBTs. So we got, which becomes a red. So there's now 7 next-gen MBTs in Rhineland and 2 self-propelled artillery. So those are going to make another red. So there are now 12 NATO self-propelled artillery and 1 American in Rhineland. Okay, that's it for placing units. Hard training day, taking a rest. Collect money. NATO is collecting 44, no bonus. Plus the one they saved will be 45. They've added 4 battle stars to their bank for a total of 9. And then here's their missile build. 5 cruise missiles. And 2 more anti-ship missiles. Okay, Ozark Outpost. Over and out.